Hey, family. I hope all is well with you out there as it is with me. I just had some things on my mind. I was watching a video about so much hate and discontent this preacher had for our people. And see, you know, I see the hate and discontent growing. I see it getting worse. I don't see, you know, this is why I had to come on here today because, people, I've been talking for a long, long time trying to get our people out from religion. And that's something that, it's a stronghold. Um, Religion was used as a weapon. And these people's minds are so demented and so different, far different than what we are in our nature as a people, that they have destroyed so much in this world, on this planet. They've made life unbearable. When you talk about burning and hell, sometimes you can feel the burning, but it's not actual burning, but it's similar. It's similar. It's you got the burning with fire, and then you got the burning with 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 so much thrown at you, thrown on you, just so much wickedness, so much evil, so much hate and discontent, so much hate and discontent you get accused of when you're nothing but loving. But we got to see what perspective it comes from. If you love God, you're going to see me as a hateful person. If you love yourself over God, then you're going to understand me more because you know that someone has programmed a whole lot of people's minds into thinking a certain way. And they cannot see. They cannot see. And no man can help them. No one can help you. I stopped helping people. People have to see in life for themselves what has become of life. I'm going to say this. If God is a loving God, why so much hate? And don't give me that there's a devil. Don't give me that, because God is supposed to be all powerful and merciful. But I, in my whole life of living, have never seen it. Never seen it. Never seen it. I've seen what I've provided for myself, what I've allowed myself to peacefully have in a world full of so much turmoil. Look at the man who gave you God, then look at God. You would see And I don't mean surface. I'm talking about character. I'm talking about character wise. Who does that, you know, you cannot, you cannot take a spiritual, something unseen, and bring it down to this level. You cannot do it. You cannot do it. He does not speak this language. He or she, the greatness does not speak this language. But the one that knows this language and speaks this language and talks to us about something that is supposed to be quote unquote greatness, that is the lie. That right there is the lie. Because this language has not been around very long. This language has not been around very long at all. And to interpret the spiritual world with this language, and this is a language of death, a language of, it's a language of just pure evilness, I'm going to say. Pure evilness. Pure evilness, pure wickedness. When you look around you and you see the things that this God has done to the people, and continues to do over and over again, and people don't know that that's where it's coming from. Somehow they're delusional and thinking that good things are happening for them. This God is going to take you down with him. This God is going to pull you down, pull the people down with him. I let it go. I let it go, and it's probably one of the best things I've ever done in my life. You know, one of the best things I've ever done in my life is to let go of this ideology that is pure evil in its purest form. I'm not stuck in thinking there's a God above me and that anything I do is my success is dependent on how I act, and I have to act in accordance to this God. No, I act in accordance to towards to what is good for me, to what, because I represent me. And if I'm out here doing wicked, evil things to people, then, I might as well be under the God that's doing the wicked, evil things to our people, to the people of this earth. Every day, the most horrifying things, every day. And you got to think that this thing, spirituality, is way higher than this God that allows evil to dwell in the world when if he has the power that he says he has the power. It's not wait until no. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. People got to wake up and recognize what it really is. This is game that's been run on the people's minds, so you don't use your mind. It's game that's been utilized so you don't use your mind, that you don't see the greatness in who you are. So your personality doesn't be aligned the way it's supposed to be. It's to get you out of whack. I've been thinking about this a long time. I've been thinking about one thing I've been thinking about is I've noticed that the highest crime, the highest wickedness and evil happens in the nation that is under God. We just have too much wickedness. We have a lot of wickedness. And it's more to come. It's more to come because they got you. They see they got you with God. One day, some will wake up and see. One day, some will wake up and see for themselves exactly where I'm at and what I see, how I see it. But, there's this programming is deep. It's a deep programming because the programming, it has caused a lot of hate. But then I get told I'm hateful. Just because somebody's telling you something different, that is going to seem hateful because Stockholm Syndrome, when you're in the grips of the one who done this to you and you love them so much because when you love God, that's what you love. Unfortunately, when you love God, that's what you love. You love the killer, stealer, because there's a lot of killing and stealing in the Bible. And there's a lot of killing and stealing in the world that we live in. I mean, it's really nothing you can do about it at this point because it's already been spread and with the words. With the words. There's places that never had the religion, and nor did they ever have the problems. There's islands out here that if they see a white man, they won't let him on the island. They'll kill him. We've seen it. The Christian young man went to one of the islands and tried to get in there and teach the people about God. And they had something for him because they already knew. They already knew that they went all over the world, planet, colonizing, capturing, stealing, killing, raping, stealing, and murdering their children, their babies. And then programming their minds about how great the white and powerful the white man in the sky is. I don't have no hate. I have sadness. I have disgust. Let's call it disgust. Because I have a right to be disgusted with the world that I have to deal with every day. I have a right to be disgusted until someone hears me and want to wake up and change. Help me change the situation. Because it's not impossible. But what's impossible is if people allow their minds to be engaged in programming. That you have to have something when all you have to do is go back to your innocent days and know that the world has influenced you in many ways. Before you were pure, and now, you grow up and you got dirty in this world. You got dirty in this world. So I just look at the man that gave us God. And then I look and I examine God. And I notice he hoards a lot of land. He talks about, in the book, he talks about people and land. Survival. It talks about survival. But it doesn't talk about life. It talks about survival and destruction. But what about life? What about life? It sounds like the book of the dead, the book of the damned, and the book of destruction. And I know that I just don't subscribe to that, to religion, period, of any type. Because you're not going to find me bowing down to something or anything. Because that means that I'm giving my power over to something that's unknown, that I don't even know is my enemy or is helping me. I'm just not going to do it. I'm just not going to do it. Nothing. Nothing. My ancestors are a part of me. They're in my DNA. I'm connected. We all have good and bad. Right now, I'm being bad. That's perspective. Many people probably think I'm being hateful, being evil, being wicked for speaking the way I speak. They may call it blasphemy, but I'm like, what is that? I just don't get how people want to be imprisoned and controlled when we're our condition that we're in is already a place that is hard to break free from. And that's being in the body, being in this body, being who we are, you know. So why do we seek to be bounded all the time when we can naturally have those things and be grounded and still hold power? Because that's what knowledge is. Knowledge is power. When you can understand where I'm coming from, when I say this God is the creation, is the ideology of the white man. And I see too many men out here being murdered on a constant. Young men being murdered on a constant. On a constant. But because you've been taught, because our people been taught about God and don't know what we've been taught from, obviously, because we think it comes from grandma and them. We think it comes from Uncle Willie. We think it comes from cousin Louie or brother Billy. You see, we think these come from our family members. That's who we got it from, right? It was passed down, and it's been a programming that you can sit by and have war waged upon you and not even see it. Not even see it. Not see it at all. But this is what's going on. This is what's happening to us. And it's causing it's so much psychosis that is caused by this religion, um, judgment of your own. You start justifying things by it. You see the world off, way off with it. Some people are not even into it, but they hold a part of it, but it's just you never see them go to church, is what I'm saying. You never see them with the Bible. But they'll get upset when you and call you blasphemy. It's symbolic for some people, is what I'm saying. Some people have it as symbolic, and it's meaningful, probably because a special person in their life taught them that. And maybe they feel like it helped them through some things. But they don't realize they helped themselves through some things. You used what you were given and you did the work. Like I used what I was given and the feelings it made me feel. You did magic. You did magic. It was no outside source. They put it in your head and you made it work for you. You made it work for you. I made it work for me. I've made going to church, I made it work for me because I read the book and I got other things from it than what. You can always get stuff from it. Don't get me wrong. Our minds are powerful. But I want you to know that it was not God that did that. That was you. That was you. You did the magic for yourself. You did it. Not nothing outside of you. You got to learn to give the credit to you. You got to learn to love you. Because if you don't, you're going to be out here loving the wrong things outside of you. And then you're going to find yourself judging. And then you're going to find yourself with so much discontent. You see, they say, I have hate and discontent. No, I have love. I have love. But because the programming has been so deep and so, oh my goodness, it has really worked upon people. It has really worked upon people, and it got us to here. It's got us to here, you know. And this ain't. Oh my goodness, this ain't heaven. Let's say that. And it's not going to get us to heaven. It's going to get us what the people ask for, unknowingly to themselves, what they're asking for and what they're allowing. But being aware is everything. Being aware. And just by me talking, awareness is everything. Because you know what? Everything gets turned around. Everything the tables can turn. The tables can turn. That's why I say all the time, for every action, you're going to get a reaction. So make sure when you do that action, and if you do it against people, the action, it's going to come back on you. But if you do the action and it's good, that too will come back, but it'll come back the same way you gave it. When you give a bad vibes out to people, when you give bad vibes out to people, you're going to get a lesson. You're going to get the vibes back. You're going to get the vibes back. Because that's the nature. And this the fact that they gave you this vibe of God and they marked it, they gave it image, and they programmed you against self, with trickery. Tables can turn, and that trickery can turn into victory. That's what I know, and I firmly see can happen and will happen. That's why I don't worry over it too much. But I do still have in my heart, when I see the effects of what has been done, my heart, my love comes out. My love comes out. But I know it's pushing me to speak up and speak out on a constant basis. You know, people don't waste their time talking to you if they don't love you. They just don't do it. Those who take the time to speak on something that is deep for them, that's real love. That's true love, to take the time out, and regardless of the world around them, regardless of everything, speaking the truth as they know it, as I know it, because it's just people have to put their love for themselves and faith in themselves and everything, because you have the power. You have the power. You hold the power. And don't let nothing put anything above you to have you worshiping anything. Because to me, that's war. That's war. And with that said, always remember true love, real peace in the higher self within the soul. Till next time, peace.